Hi friends and family, I am Deborah and welcome to my backyard. This is the first garden tour of the 2021 season, so welcome. I am excited to get everything growing and going and want to take a look around and bring you along with me. I am growing in zone 7 in the south, so if you're nearby, I would love to learn about your garden and see what you are growing, so let me know. All right, let's see what's growing. This is the first bed that we started last year. It has strawberries underneath the fig trees. When you move the strawberry foliage, you can start to see all the little green strawberries. I estimate we're probably gonna have at least 3 times as many strawberries as last year. The new growth on the fig trees is just amazing to me. You can see where it changes from brown to green. And I mean, the new growth is probably a foot. There's already figs on these. And here you can see one. And so it's still pretty hard. They're ready when they sort of turn brown and get soft. So we have figs coming. Behind the figs and strawberries, I have my Blackberry Bed, and we planted these about 1.5 years ago. And see, I got my netting over it so the birds, I just saw a bird this morning trying to get in there. I don't want them to get a taste. But you can see the blackberries are coming. Most of the flowers have already fallen off and they are starting berries. Further down in the bed, we have raspberries. My husband found these raspberry plants and they were just sticks, and we put them in and they are starting to leaf up. Then along the edge, I got my teeny little melon sprouts. The next area of my garden is my raised beds. I have 4 raised beds that are 3 feet by 4 feet. And on either side, I have my black diamond crepe myrtles. They get these bright pink red flowers on them, and with that dark foliage, I just love them so much. And I have them potted because I don't really want them to turn into trees. Just want them to stay small. This is the sweet potato bed, and I have purple sweet potatoes and regular orange sweet potatoes. My hibiscus plant is hanging out over here, right next to the second raised bed, which has some arugula, and this is Vulcan red Swiss chard. The stems get so bright red. We've had so much rain, which I'm sure you guys have had too, and so everything's kind of flopped over. We have some cucumbers, some zucchinis, yellow zucchini, and black beauty zucchini, and then my peas. One set of peas. This is the first pea flower. Isn't that beautiful? Look at the veining on that. Just so pretty. A few flowers, a red geranium and a purple dahlia. And you can see that dahlia's already got more buds ready to blossom. And behind that, I started some another type of dahlia that is nice red yellow. So we'll see how that grows. Third raised bed, I have tomatoes along the side, and then some soybeans on these 2 trellises there. Up front, some peppers, and then on my trellis, on my arbor trellis, I am going to be doing my Kajari Melons this year. So I have along the base a couple Kajari melon starts, and then in between is my Mexican sour gherkins, which are those small 1-inch cucumbers. And then a little bit of triple curled parsley. This is one of my favorite plants that had to be moved because I found out later it was growing on top of about a 6-inch rock, so it couldn't get its roots in. But this is a Ginkgo Biloba. Look at how pretty these fan leaves are. It's got new growth. It's so much happier in this pot here. So once it gets big, then I will pot it up. What? Can you say cheesy? Cheesy. Good job. Pig. The Raspberries bed has most of my cucumbers in them, and they are going to be growing up these bamboos. As they grow, I'm going to be twining in some yarn to keep them contained. And then I have a few more peas, no buds on those yet. And then I think something ate my Kajari Melon starts over here, so we'll have to plant some more seeds over there. This area, last year I had my wildflowers, and in the fall I decided to plant some bulbs. So first bulbs, these are so cool, they're just big puff balls. These are Gladiator Alliums, and they start out super purple. This one's still kind of purple, but they're starting to lose their little bud or blossoms, whatever. And so once they lose all of those, they look kind of like green puff balls. So I have 3 of those. Then we have some lilies that still are thinking about blooming. These were daffodils that already bloomed. And on either side of my arbor, I have my new climbing roses. So these are the golden opportunity climbing roses. These were bare root when I got them, and all this green is new foliage since I have planted them in the ground. Along here we have some more daylilies. Look at how many blooms are going to be at the top. I didn't realize how many blooms are on one plant. And then this is the tulip part that has already gone. This next area has a lot of things kind of peeking out, and in the back corner, these are my runner beans. They are red runner beans and sunset runner beans. So they will have red flowers and sort of a pinky peach flower that the hummingbirds like. So I'm hoping that they grow all the way up and cover that wall. Then next to it, this is my surprise plant for the year. This is my Snapdragons, and you can see it is a mix of colors. We got white and sort of a fuchsia, and then a light pink, which is very pretty. But this, I did not know that it is perennial in zone 7, and it is. It lived through the winter, and it is blooming like crazy. It is gonna take over. I'm gonna have to deadhead and prune once it's all done. Underneath the red bloodgood maple, I have so many volunteer sunflowers. I have not planted sunflowers. These are just left over from last year, so we'll see what color they are. I kind of hope there's some of my red ones, because those are my favorite. Then I have a patch of chamomile and a new plant, my hydrangea. It's getting closer and closer to blooming. I cannot wait to see what color the blooms are. I have been putting my coffee, cooled off coffee, and my grounds on it to make it more acidic. In the back, the big bushy plants are the apricot cosmos, apricot lemonade cosmos. Then we have an apricot aster, that one little sprout. And then next to that is the straw flowers. Along this fence, I have 3 sections of tomatoes in the back and peppers in the front. Then I have 3 blueberry plants with some flowers planted in between them in the back. Those are stalks on the left, which is so fragrant, so I hope those take. This is my first year growing those. And then a Ginkgo Biloba, which makes pretty little purple spheres, so we'll see how those look. That's my first time growing that as well. This pot has evening primrose, so this one is going to be a yellow evening primrose, and this one is a pink one. Here I have my PTP, say that 10 times fast. And it's funny because the right side is growing so much faster than the left side. Isn't that weird? Must be from the sun coming up in the morning. But let's see, do we have any? Oh, here's a teeny tiny flower starting. So we're getting to that stage. I broke up my lamb's ear. It was very big and circular, and I broke it up and made sort of a hedge here so that it'll stop the dirt from going slowly that way. When it rains, the yard is slightly sloped and everything wants to go that way. So that'll stop the dirt. And a new big old blueberry bush. Check out these blueberries ripening. I've had to hold off the toddlers from getting them. Second grouping of peppers and tomatoes, and then in my black bags I have my potatoes. I have some blue potatoes and Yukon Gold potatoes, and they have not sprouted or come out yet. We're just waiting to see. This is my first time doing actual potatoes. You know what? I say that and I think I might see a sprout. Look at these sprouts. These are the blue potatoes, and you can kind of tell because the sprouts are in fact a blue purple. How cool. This is the third grouping of peppers and tomatoes, and behind we have onions, and here's my gem magnolia. It got moved this year because I wanted it more in the center, so that's why it has some yellow leaves. It's slightly stressed from the move and from all the rain we've had. My new and Japanese magnolia. This is a saucer magnolia, so it has these pretty pink, white, purple flowers. More tomatoes in the back, and this is our second patch of strawberries. These have already had some that ripened, but some special little animal got to them before we did. Let's see if I can get this one out. Oh, yep, somebody had a snack. That's okay, we can share. This is a new patch that I planted dedicated to my mom, who passed away in February from breast cancer. And this has purple irises. These are Siberian irises. So Siberians you can plant in the spring. Your bearded irises you want to plant in the fall. And it's also going to have a saga gladiolus, so it'll be an orange gladiolus. And so I like the purple and the orange together. It's starting to rain. Let's get it done. These are my garlics and some onions that I planted in the fall. And look how big the stalk is getting. So we're getting closer to harvest time for all of those. This is a new plant that I got this year. It's a red hot poker, and it is the mango popsicle variety. So these will get bigger and orange and yellow, kind of mango colored, but I haven't decided exactly where to plant it, so it's still in its pot, so we'll decide that soon. A new addition this year is my asparagus bed. Can you see these little babies? Look at this. Teeny tiny little asparagus. So it takes a couple years for an asparagus bed to get established. So ours is just getting going. I planted some asparagus crowns this year and a nice patch of different kinds of nasturtiums in front. This is the first year that I started eggplant from seed, and this is my eggplant patch. So we'll see how that goes. Next to that, we have some brown cherries, and somebody's been munching them. They munched them when I still had them in the pots, so we'll see if they bounce back. It'll be okay. We can start new seeds if we need to. This is my new honeysuckle, and I have it going up a bamboo trellis. The flowers are teasing me because they're taking longer to open, and we have little bunches of flowers all over the town. The honeysuckles have already bloomed, but since this is a new transplant, they're taking their sweet time. This is Adelaide's garden. She's my little girl. She just turned 5, and she begged me for more space in her garden, so I gave her some plant starts. She has some ground cherries at the front, a few tomatoes, some purple basils, some runner beans, and look at that pretty little pink flower. That's a vinca, and a pepper. This is my horseradish. There are 3 plants here, and they were just roots when I planted them last year. And now look how big this leaf is. Just humongo, as big as your head. And it's putting out a few little flowers. This corner is dedicated to my dad because it has the Clematis in the corner. Look how pretty. Picardy Clematis, so that'll grow all the way up. And then some vincas, which my dad loves. And they're just those little flowers. And then heuchera. This heuchera is loving it over here. I had it underneath my maple tree, but it got sunburned, and so it was just saying, move me somewhere else. So here it is. Another new addition are my mushroom logs. These are, I have 2 shiitake mushroom logs and 1 oyster mushroom log. So these will hopefully start making mushrooms come September, October, but we'll have to see because they are new logs. On the way back to the porch, I have my bachelor's buttons. So I have some blue and some red. And here's my little girl. And then this is a new plant. This is a type of cypress. We loved how it had the yellow tips. This will grow up tall, and that's gonna be decorated like a little Christmas tree at Christmas time. This is my sage. This is its 2nd year. It made it through the winter, and it's putting out these beautiful purple flowers. I let my sage go to flower because they are just so pretty. Look at that. Grow some herbs for the flowers. Once it's done flowering, I'll trim it way back, cut it down probably by 1/3 so that it'll bush out and make some new growth. English lavender and rosemary, chives, green onions, and a citronella plant that was just a stick when I got it, and it's now putting out new growth. Last is my porch banister covered in plants. This is currently my favorite plant. Can you tell what it is? It is mint, but if you could smell it, you would know it is chocolate mint. So if you like Thin Mint Girl Scout cookies or the mint chocolate ice cream that's green, you must have this plant. It is so good. Next to that, 2 other mints. This is a peppermint and this is a spearmint, all contained so that they don't take over. Both of these pots are yellow begonias. These ones I started just maybe 2 weeks ago, and they already are sprouting up, ready to start getting bigger so that they can bloom. This is a railing planter that I got this year. See, it kind of hooks onto the railing. I love that. And it is chocked full, so eventually I'm gonna have to move some stuff out. I got some celery starts, some bee balm, oregano, thyme, sage, parsley, and cilantro, which I'm really excited that my cilantro is doing so well because it tends to go to seed so quickly. My sweet mint is coming back. This is sweet mint from last year around the edge, and then I have some spearmint in the center. This pot has Spanish lavender, rosemary, and a new evening primrose. Look, that is blooming. This I bought off of Etsy, and it is already blooming. This rosemary I'll probably have to move because I don't think it likes it in this pot. It's giving me some brown leaves, so it might get moved back out into full sun. Now from this, you're gonna be able to tell how much I love basil. So these are slow starting because basil likes it hot, and these ones have not had it hot yet, but this is amethyst basil, cinnamon basil, Emily basil, large leaf basil, lemon basil, licorice basil, lime basil, and Thai sweet basil. So I'm probably gonna end up having to start some new seeds. Some of them are just taking now because we've had a few days in the 80-degree range. So they're starting to realize, oh, it's getting hot. I think I'll sprout. In this pot, I have kales. We're eating these like baby kales, so we're just picking them off. So it's thick growing because we're just eating them babies. And then we have some dill flopped over from the rains, and we'll use that for pickles. I'll probably have to plant some more dill. A few purple basils. These, I believe, are going to be some red daisies and a couple other things I can't remember. They were some free corms, I think you call them, that I started. This lavender is coming back to life. Some of them are like, I don't know if I want to, but a couple of them are coming back. Now this is special. This is a Jerusalem artichoke, also known as a sunchoke, and I am not growing it for the tubers necessarily, but it is a part of the sunflower family. So I would like to see if I can get it to grow, and it does get pretty tall, so I'm gonna have to do something with it when it outgrows this pot, but it makes these teeny little sunflowers, which I would like to see. So we'll see how those grow. And lastly, we have my parsley that is on its second year, so it's going to seed, making a pretty little seed head. And then this is a juniper. It's kind of like a bonsai tree. And so it is a new plant growing well in this pot, and it has a very pretty evergreen scent to it. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Hope you enjoyed checking out my garden with me. I'm excited to see what is growing, what is sprouting, and things to look forward to. I would love to see your garden, so let me know what you're growing, and I'll be checking it out soon. All right, love you guys. Happy spring. Bye-bye.